Welcome to the final episode of Dead Money Sports playoff previews for this year's NFL season. That's right, it's the Super Bowl edition. We're less than a week away from the final game of the NFL season between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs to see who gets to hoist that Lombardi trophy. Well, it's kind of exciting and it's kind of a little sad that the season's coming to an end, the last football game of the year. But, you know, it happens every season. We'll have plenty of content during the off season of the other sports that we cover. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can get all the other content that Dead Money Sports puts out on YouTube. And hit that like button so it helps us increase the viewership that YouTube allows with their algorithm. You know, I'm really trying to grow this channel. So every new subscriber helps out, and every time you hit that like button, it just increases the chances of them showing this video a little bit more on the channel. So once again, we're going into the Super Bowl. Since there's only one game, I'm gonna do the props and the my picks for the actual game itself in one video. So let's get into it. The first props that I like for this week's Super Bowl is the anytime touchdown scores. The first one that I like is Boston Scott. It's sitting at around plus 530 right now, so that's a great value. He's had a touchdown in the last two postseason games that the Eagles have played. So he's been featured in the offense, particularly down in the red zone. Now, obviously, Jalen Hurts is always a threat to just run the ball himself when the Eagles get down near the, inside the 5, inside the 10-yard line. But again, with his shoulder issue, I don't know if they're going to want to put him in harm's way by having him dive, into a pile of bodies. So it'd be better off handing it to a running back and letting them, take the abuse that they get down there on the goal line. So, and with Boston Scott, he's obviously shown that they're going to give him the ball since he's had a touchdown in the last two games. So the first anytime touchdown scorer I'm going with is Boston Scott at plus 530. Now the other anytime touchdown scorer that I'm going with for this game is McKinnon at plus 175. He's had one touchdown in the last he's had a touchdown in the last 6 regular season games, but he hasn't had a touchdown in the playoffs. And I know Isaiah Pacheco, I had him as an anytime touchdown scorer last week or last game, and he could potentially have another one this game, but the total for this game is 50. So the sports books are expecting a little bit of points from both sides. So there could be, multiple opportunities for players to score touchdowns in this game. And I think McKinnon's going to be featured in this game, particularly in the passing game, because they're dealing with issues with the wide receivers for the Kansas City Chiefs, injury issues. We're not exactly sure who's going to be playing, how healthy they're going to be, whether or not they'll make it all the way to the end of the game. And McKinnon has shown that he's a very capable receiver, so we could see the Chiefs line him up at receiver with Pacheco in the backfield playing running back. So I think he's going to have plenty of chances. I think Mahomes will look his way. We could see some dump-offs to the running backs when he's in there, some angle routes over the middle that give him an opportunity to score. And at plus 175, I really like it. So my next anytime touchdown scorer prop for the Super Bowl is McKinnon at plus 175. Now I've got a couple props that I like for this game. The first prop I like is Hassan Reddick's over 3.5 tackles and assists. It's sitting at plus 110 right now. He's gone over this total in 5 of the last 6 games. And again, I think we're going to see plenty of the backs and tight ends from Kansas City, because I don't know how healthy the wide receiver core is, which could give Reddick an opportunity to get involved in more tackles and go over this total of 3.5. And again, it's plus money at plus 110, so I really think it's a good value. So my first prop for the Super Bowl is Hassan Reddick over 3.5 tackles and assists at plus 110. My next prop for the Super Bowl is A.J. Brown under 71.5 receiving yards. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to try to look to take him out of the game and maybe make the other players on this team beat them. Now, in the playoff games that he's played, the 2 games, he's only averaged 25 receiving yards. So you can see that defenses are keying on him and trying to take him, or at least take the deep shot out of the game and make them work the ball down the field, which the Eagles have been successful at, running the ball and short passes to the tight ends, Devontae Smith. But again, I just think Kansas City's defensive plan is going to look to limit the amount of touches that A.J. Brown gets in this game. So I think that even though he may have, 5 receptions in this game, I don't expect him to be big shots to go over this total. So my next prop for the Super Bowl is A.J. Brown under 71.5 receiving yards. Now my last prop for the Super Bowl is McKinnon's over 3.5 receptions, sitting at plus 130. Now, he's had some games where he's gone well over this number, and he's had some games where he hasn't even had a target. So this could go either way, but again, it's at plus 130, so you're getting plus money on the bet. And again, I think McKinnon could see himself lined up as a wide receiver for Kansas City in this game if they're dealing with guys who can't play or can't make it to the end of the game. We know guys like Kadarius Toney are dealing with hamstrings that have been plaguing them all year, and even though he may start the game, he may not make it to the end, which means McKinnon could fill in at wide receiver since they have Isaiah Pacheco as their number 1 running back. Give him more opportunities for targets and receptions. So at plus 130, my last prop is McKinnon over 3.5 receptions. So those are the props that I like for the Super Bowl. Now for the actual game itself, this is going to be a really good battle. The spread for this right now is Eagles minus 1.5. The total sitting at 50. The money line, depending on which side, right now, Kansas City is sitting at about plus 105, 110, depending on where you're at. Try to shop around. But for this game, as far as the side's concerned, for the first half, I'm going with the Eagles money line first half. It's at plus 105. The Eagles have been fantastic in the first half of games this year. Kansas City usually struggles to start. They're a much better second half team than they are first half team. So I think the Eagles will go into halftime with a slight lead in this game. And with it being money line plus 105, I like to take that plus money bet. So the first bet for the sides is the Eagles first half money line at plus 105. Now for the actual game itself, I'm going with Kansas City's money line plus 105. I think the Chiefs will make a push in the second half and win this game. I'm going to take the money line. The total is, or the spread is plus 1.5 at minus 110. So I'd rather just take the money line and take the plus money with the Kansas City Chiefs and, hope that they get it done. I think Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. I think the Eagles are a team that are ascending. They made the playoffs last season. They're in the Super Bowl this year. But I just don't think they're going to get it done. I think Kansas City is just too good, too experienced. They understand what's going to go on during the prep week leading up to the Super Bowl, which is something that the Philadelphia Eagles will be dealing with for the first time. And, I just think that experience for Kansas City will be enough to get them the victory in this one. So my next bet for the side is Kansas City's money line at plus 105. Now, because I like the Eagles to lead at halftime, and I like Kansas City to win the game outright, there's another bet, which is second half lead change at plus 150 that I'm also taking because, again, I think the Eagles will lead at halftime, but I think Kansas City gets it done in the second half. So if the Eagles are leading in the first half and lose the game, that will be a second half lead change. So for my last prop on the Super Bowl side, I'm going to go with second half lead change at plus 150. Well, those are all the props and bets that I've got for the final game of the NFL season, the Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Well, it's been a fantastic season. Thank you to everybody out there who's followed along from the beginning to the end. It's been one hell of a roller coaster ride up to this point. And, you know, it's been a great learning experience. I've had a lot of fun working with these videos, editing, and doing all the other stuff that goes into it, as well as the research side when it comes to, preparing for the games every week. But I'm also looking forward to having a little bit of downtime before I go full bore into the other sports that I like during the NFL offseason. So, again, thanks to everybody out there for watching. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. The more subscribers I get, the more I can unlock this YouTube channel and the other features that are available, the more content I can provide, and the more inspiration it'll give me to create more content because I know the viewers out there are actually watching it and enjoying it. Well, once again, to everybody out there, let's make a lot of money in this final game. Let's enjoy this Super Bowl. I think it's going to be an incredible game to watch. Make sure you go to deadmoneysports.com, subscribe to the blog so you can get all the other posts and view all the other content that we have, and hit that notification and like button to help out this video. Well, thank you to everybody out there, and let's make a lot of money.